All right, Darren, time for Ratchet and Clank. The Ratchet and Clank games have always been about outrageous weapons and cool third-person action, but in Q-Force they've mixed in tower defense. We didn't get a chance to review the PS3 version, but now that it's come out on the Vita, we thought we'd take a look at both.
The story revolves around Captain Quark. He's recruited both Ratchet and Clank into his own galactic hero squad called Q-Force.
You know what this calls for?
Don't say it.
I'll tell you what this calls for.
He's gonna say it.
The Q-Force!
He said it.
Now, you might remember Quark's had a pretty shady past, flip-flopping between being Ratchet and Clank's part-time friend, part-time nemesis. In this game, he's firmly on the right side of the law, but he's just as lazy and self-centered as ever.
And the galaxy? Well, the galaxy has never been so boring.
And unfortunately, one of Quark's biggest fans has gone rogue and is trying to take down Q-Force and the rest of the galaxy with them.
Stewart, where are you? Your macaroni and cheese is getting cold.
Mom! I'm in the middle of something! Sheesh! As they would say, it's time to die.
To save the galaxy, you'll need to protect the Q-Force bases from waves of enemies. But the first thing you need to do is pick your character. Naturally, I chose Clank in his new power suit. Being able to blast around in jet boots right from the start of the game is a lot of fun. He's so efficient.
Yeah, those jet boots are a lifesaver, although I have to say they made platforming a little bit tricky. Normally you use your shadow to judge where you're going to land in the next platform, but the flames from your boots often meant that you couldn't. At least the shooting and combat has been handled well.
Yes, and the weapons are as over the top as ever. Of course, you've got the plasma guns and rocket launchers, but Ratchet and Clank is still the only place you'll find burping alien shotguns, or a disco ball that forces your enemies to boogie before they're blasted.
You are dead, and you are dead, and you are dead.
Boogie, boogie, boogie. Oh, I was glad to see my weaponized robot pal, Mr. Zircon, return. He lifts the mood with his charming banter.
Mr. Zircon is looking to kill you.
Yeah, the weapons really are the stars of the game, and I found myself really enjoying upgrading them. Unfortunately, the new tower defense sections aren't so great. If your base's generators are destroyed, then it's game over, so you need to build defenses to hold back the waves of enemies. The problem is you need to leave your base and collect bolts, which are used as in-game money to buy defenses like turrets and walls. But you never have enough bolts to build more than a token amount of defenses.
Yes, the beauty of a good tower defense game is when you can build complex mazes and funnel enemies into a choke point and take them out that way, but in this one you can't even build the most basic of mazes.
It's outrageous! All you can do is slow the enemies down a little by stacking defenses around the base's 2 entrances.
Yeah, and often a wave of enemies would hit when I'm right in the middle of a tricky platforming section.
Sweet! A gold bolt!
New enemies detected.
So I had to drop what I was doing and then go back and defend it. The game feels inconsistent because you're constantly juggling between exploration and base defense.
I did have a go of some co-op with Darren, and that should have been a cooperative experience, but it wasn't really, was it, Darren? Darren, you're meant to be looking after the base, and all these people are getting in, and they're getting our generators. Do your job.
Oh, the best defense is a good offense, Barjo.
The job is to defend the things. That's what the thing is. It's tower defense, not tower offense.
Those crates aren't going to smash themselves, Barjo.
Darren, I just don't think you understand the concept of teamwork. Team.
It's a shame the game doesn't support 3-player co-op, so I could have joined in. I mean, the whole game focuses on a 3-person Q-Force team, so it would have been really great to take advantage of the Vita to have a third person join in on the action.
Yeah, and I was a little bit disappointed with the way the Vita version looked. It should have looked a little bit better, I think, but it does look pretty good on PS3.
At least the Vita and PS3 games support cloud saves, so you can save your campaign on one device and resume it on another.
Yeah, normally that would have been great, but we finished the PS3 version in 4 hours, which was just one sitting, so there was no real need for that at all.
Yeah, it was just as I was starting to get my weapons powered up into a really fun point, it ended. It's such a shame to see a lightweight Ratchet and Clank game. Back in the PS2 days, they were right on top of their game, but I feel like in this generation of consoles, it's just been a bit, I don't know, downhill. We should wrap this up though. Final thoughts, guys?
Well, that gimmicky tower defense really spoiled the core action gaming for me, so I can only give this a 5.
Yes, I like that they tried something different, but it was only a 5 for me as well.
It's all Clank's fault, of course.
Oh, really?
He's been so distracted lately with his film deal, and he's always at the golf course. He's never in the office.
Yeah.